This is my lawn tractor that I use for spraying. Again, I did a video recently on a quick little deal for cleaning the part of the carburetor that makes it run or idle kind of rough, kind of surging. And a lot of times I get away with that, but this time it only lasted a couple of weeks and then it started acting up again. And I'm going to go on ahead and take the carburetor off and clean it out a little better. Everything's short of getting a rebuild kit for it. So I'll turn the video off for a second while I get some of these, take these screws off and just get some access here. Okay, I got those little screws off. Now this little rubber PVC or PCV, excuse me, PCV breather tube, just gotta wrinkle that up and shove it through the hole there. No biggie. And I'm gonna do my best to leave the carburetor on here. I'm gonna blow all this cottonwood seed. Somebody watching this from another area that doesn't have cottonwood trees may not know what it is, but it's dusty, nasty stuff. Blow that off with the air hose, and I'll just spray some cleaner on, get some of the grease off the outside of this carburetor. The outside cleaning is not important for how the carburetor runs, but it's just easier to handle. Helps keep my fingers a little cleaner while I'm working. Just a little tip, when you finish a can of cleaner of any kind, always save the straw. Nothing else, just save the whole top. Sometimes the top comes in handy if you break one or lose one. Sometimes you find a can and no top on it, don't know what happened to it. But these straws, I don't throw these out, and I don't seem to be collecting too many. They get lost, I don't know why. Okay, I just cracked this excess nut loose right here, and that is an access to a main jet in the carburetor. See if we can get in there and see a little closer through this hole on the side of the tractor. If you look in there, you'll see there's a typical jet. And I'm gonna either just clean the hole out in it, or maybe I'll just go ahead and extract that thing and clean it out better. I'm really not that well acquainted with this carburetor, other than this idle air bleed up here on the top that has a tendency to get dirty, and when it does, it'll make it surge. That's that little tiny hole right there on the last carburetor video I did on this little tractor. All I did was clean that, and I bought me some time. This is the fuel pump, by the way. It's a vacuum operated fuel pump that works off of the engine crankcase vacuum, which kind of pulsates because it's a one-cylinder engine. So it's pressure and then vacuum, pressure, vacuum inside the crankcase, and it actually fluctuates a diaphragm in there that pumps your fuel. So probably don't need to take that off, and I do want to lift the top of the carburetor off and check the float bowl, see how clean it is inside there. And I'm going to clean this jet a little bit here. So let's get to that. There we go. Wasn't getting hold of it. It can be tricky sometimes getting a screwdriver to fit in these jets. And it just kind of fell out sideways. I'm going to have to go get a needle nose pliers to fish it out of there. Let's see if I can. Might be fun putting that back in. It's a small jet there. But the hole in it is good. It's not clogged up. Are we getting through that or not? Yeah, I'm seeing through it now. Yeah, it looks good there. And I'm going to go ahead and get the top off so I can see the float bowl. Just 4 screws here. Try to leave the linkage where it is as much as I can, hopefully. Got the 4 screws off, but the top is a little tight, so I'm just going to whack it here once. Still no, huh? Guess I'll have to work through the side here maybe and that screwdriver is too short. I'm going to have to get a longer one. Use this Craftsman hammer here. There we go. And I'll try not to break any gaskets. I do not have a gasket kit. I already see the gasket sticking to the top of the carburetor on one side and sticking to the bottom on the other side. So I'm going to get a very small screwdriver and work my way around. I got the gasket broken loose from the bottom and it's sticking to the top now. Try to carefully lift this up, float out of there, and unhook it off of my throttle linkage right here. I mean my choke linkage right there. And yes, we do have a mess inside the float bowl. Nothing serious, but it needs cleaning. Everything needs cleaning. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's some brownish, crusty stuff growing down inside here. So I'm going to take the float out and the needle and clean that area out. And there's this same brown crusty stuff sticking on top of the gasket. It's on top of the float. I'm going to clean up that whole upper portion of the carburetor. And then looking down in the bowl, we have another jet here, and we got a few little places here that just need to be cleaned out. And then you see this crusty yellowish brown stuff in here, and then down there in the bottom of the bowl. So all of that needs attention. We're going to clean all that stuff out. By the way, I'm going to point where that jet was that I took out from behind that big bolt that was on the side over here. It goes in where I'm putting the screwdriver. It goes in that little hole right in there. That's the main metering jet. And the main metering jet is always going to have a smaller metering jet on the other side of it, and in this case it's going to be right down inside this hole. Like I said, I don't know this carburetor real good, so I'm just going back from carburetor school, gosh, back in 1978, 79, long time ago, but carburetors are still pretty much the same. So I'll just use theory to figure out what I gotta find and clean out on this carburetor. We'll get all this stuff cleaned out here in a minute. Getting this jet here, I just cracked it loose. Clean this one out, obviously, right through that center hole and through these side holes. There, get all that cleaned out. Got that jet out, and I'm going to first clean out the bottom of this float bowl. I'm going to cover this up with my thumb and then blow this junk out of there. Put some spray in there and see if we can. I'll have to put this plug back in, or the spray is just going to run out the side. Now I got to find a brush. See if I can get a brush down in there and clean that stuff loose, blow it out.